Daryl here, 63 and counting. After living with robot mowers for a couple months now, I can say this: I like them and I'd probably buy them again. But I also wish somebody had told me a few things before I bought one. Because these things are not magic, they save time, they keep the yard looking better, but they also come with a few surprises. So today I'm going through the real world stuff I've learned after owning robot mowers, the good, the aggravating, and what I would have liked to have known before spending the money. First thing, it maintains the yard, but it doesn't mow like a regular mower. The first thing I had to do is get used to it that the robot mower doesn't really mow like a regular mower. With a regular mower, the grass gets tall, you go out and cut it, and then a few days later it starts looking shaggy, like it needs cutting again. With a robot mower, it's different. It cuts a little bit at a time, keeping grass from getting tall in the first place. At first you may wonder, is it doing much? It moves slowly. It doesn't look very powerful, and it's not throwing grass clippings all over the place. But after it runs consistently, your yard just starts looking more and more even most of the time. That's probably one of the best parts for me. The yard doesn't go from messy to freshly cut and back to messy. It just stays maintained. The yard looks better more often. Now, I don't want to oversell this. A robot mower is not going to fix weeds, bare spots, poor soil, or even uneven ground. If your yard has problems, it'll still have problems. And I say that with a caveat because as it cuts a little bit at a time, they're so small that the grass clippings can actually go back down into the soil and feed the grass. So the grass does get thicker. And if you have Bermuda or zoysia or one of the other grasses that, travel, have runners, it will definitely cover some spots. So that's why I say that with a caveat. The grass gets thicker and it's noticeable. You do still have yard work. Here's the part I think most people need to hear. A robot mower does not mean that you're done with yard work. You're still going to have trimming. You're still going to have edging. You're still going to have weeds, sticks, and areas the mower doesn't reach perfectly. Around fences, flower beds, trees, corners, sidewalks, driveways, you still have some detail work. So I would not describe it as having no more lawn care. I describe it as having less lawn care. It takes away the big mowing job, but it doesn't take away everything. For me, that's still a good trade-off. Trimming for a little while is a lot different than mowing the entire yard in the heat and the dust that you have to eat. Number 4, your yard layout does matter a lot. One thing I underestimated how much the yard itself matters. If you have a flat, open, simple yard, a robot mower may be a pretty easy life. But if your yard has dips, slopes, roots, soft spots, narrow areas, trees, fences, or separate front and back sections, that changes things. And that more describes my situation. I do have a mower in the front and a mower in the back, but I'm also mowing a third to close to a half an acre in each spot. So as I said, in my case, I have 2 units, one for the front, one for the back. And because my yard is the way it's laid out, it's more beneficial that way. That may not be necessary for everybody, or you can get a single unit that's big enough to handle front and back. These units I have are rated for a half acre. So don't just look at square footage. Think about how the mower is actually going to move around your property. Can it get from one area to the other? Are there any gates? Are there any narrow paths? Is the yard rough in spots? Those details matter more than I expected. A few things. My yard layout in the front and the back. I'm going to try to do it quickly. Matters. Number 5, it can get stuck. Another thing nobody really highlights in the sales pitch, these things can get stuck. Not constantly, not every day, but it happens. It's usually when they get to a spot, it's a low spot, and it kind of goes down and it thinks it was lifted. It thinks it's going to fall off a cliff, so it just stops. So for the first days, you might go around filling those with sand or dirt. But I really haven't had too much of a problem. I've only had half a dozen times pretty unique situations with uphill, downhill, dips, I'll call them drop-offs, and I've only had half a dozen stoppages in 2 months. Most of the problems that I had were in the front. But if you're expecting to just turn this on and it never needs attention, it's probably not realistic. It's not something that somebody in their older years, such as myself, can't handle, because all you really do is push it back a little bit and restart it. But if you're thinking it's completely hands off, it's not going to be for you. The good news is once you learn where it has trouble, you can usually fix these spots. It's not that difficult to fix it. Sometimes that means leveling a low area, moving a branch, cleaning up sticks. Just learning the part of the yard needs a little attention. This is stuff you had to do anyway, unless you were just mowing up big limbs and sticks. You were already having to clean these things up. And then I'll show you me repositioning the mower. So it's going to fall off this hill. We're just going to mimic it. Whoop. All right, and you hit the stop button, at least on this model. Push it out of harm's way, or pick it up if you'd rather. It's not very heavy. If you carry it outside the boundary wire, the alarm's going to go off though. But anyway, first thing it's going to ask you when you open this is to enter your PIN. And it says it's mowing, and if it doesn't have a stop button, whatever, you just click OK, whatever the message is, and just hit that start button again. And guess what? You got him out of trouble, and he's like, oh wow, thank you, I really appreciate that. Because it does need occasional rescuing, but once again, it's not that big a deal. The sixth thing, wire breaks can be frustrating. Probably my least favorite part so far has been dealing with the wire issues. With this type of robot mower, you have a boundary wire and a guide wire. The boundary wire going around a complete perimeter, and the guide wire runs through the center of your yard to give the mower an easy path back to its charging base. I've had guide wire problems, and to be honest, it can be frustrating. But with a little bit of research, I found a great tool, and it's called I think mine's a coal sole. I actually have a video on it if you want to see it, or I'll send you the link. But anyway, it's like 40 bucks, and it sends a wire signal through your wire, and once it stops making a noise, you found your break. You get a little piece, put it back together. I also have a video showing that if you're interested. It's not a hard process. It probably takes 30 minutes to find and repair one of the breaks. I've had 2 in the front and 2 in the back, and they tell me that's not unusual on a new installation because that cable's pretty tight, and it's rubbing on roots or whatever you put it in. I put mine about an inch under the ground, so I feel pretty good about it. I have plenty of the little connectors. I have the finder, and I know how to do it, and I'll be glad to help anybody if you just want to put in the comments, hey, how do I do this? Wire issues do happen. The wireless ones have their own set of problems. Some are better, some are worse. It strictly depends on your proximity to satellites and Wi-Fi. So a lot of the dealers do recommend the wire installation because it's predictable. Number 7 is the time savings are real. Now, even with those issues, here's why I like it. Instead of me having to schedule mowing, the mower is out there working while I'm doing something else. Most of the time, at least the one out front, mows at night because I don't like it running during the day for fear of it getting run over by all the traffic or the delivery trucks. But I can be in the garden working on another project, recording a video, or just sitting down for a few minutes. And in some of my garden videos, it seems like Clippard, one of the mowers, always wants to come up and get in the shot. So it's kind of funny. They're almost like pets. At 63, I'm not trying to prove anything by pushing a mower in the heat if I don't have to. I've done plenty of that. And even riding mowers, it's easier, but it's still hot, and you eat a lot of dirt, and it's just, you get dirty. There's other things you'd rather be doing with your time, I'm convinced. So yes, there are some annoyances. Yes, you still have yard work. Yes, you may have to rescue it once in a while. But when it's working like it should, it gives you your time back. So would I buy a robot mower again? For me, yes. But I'd buy it with realistic expectations. I should have watched something like this. I would not tell somebody it's perfect. I would not tell somebody it's maintenance free. I would not tell somebody it works the same in every yard, because there's no possible way. Mine works more like a Roomba. It runs a random pattern. They make them now that actually run back and forth patterns, but mine is one of the older technology, and I would still buy the same one again because it's doing that well in my yard. But even with the stuck spots, the wire issues, and the occasional rescue mission, I still like having it. Most days it just goes out and does the job. And that's what I wanted. So my honest answer is yes, I'd buy it again, but I'd go into it knowing it's not magic. It's a tool, a very helpful tool, but it's still a tool. In closing, if you're thinking about buying a robot mower, hopefully this gave you a more realistic picture than just the sales page. There are some real benefits, but there are some real world headaches if you're not thinking you're going to have them. They're easy to overcome if you have the proper tools and you have the simple steps to do it, but you're still going to have to deal with them. If there's interest, I may turn this into a short series or go deeper on setup mistakes, wire breaks, mowing schedules, and what I might do differently next time. If you already own a robot mower, let me know what surprised you the most, or what, that could be good or bad. Show me the good, show me the bad. And if you're thinking about buying one, drop your biggest question in the comments. This is Daryl, I'm 63 and counting, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. And until that time, y'all take care.